still aren't over me, huh, Sergeant Harper?
You should be so lucky.
You will be giving me a ride back to my hotel. How did you know I was coming back?
I have you on a hot list with Customs and Immigration. Being an officer has its privileges.
Then I can't believe you don't have anything better to do than chase around after little old me.
Well, what can I say? I like nailing murderers.
I'll leave that one alone. But for the record, that was a long time ago. And I was never charged with anything, remember? So you must have a better reason.
Then how's this? I hate it when someone gets away with murder.
I don't know why we keep going down this road.
What, you've forgotten Victor Tate already?
I still miss him.
You didn't even have a chance to get to know him. 11 months after you were married, he was found bludgeoned to death in his own backyard. It made you a very rich woman.
Wives inherit their husband's money. That hardly makes me a murderer.
Well, maybe not, but 3 years later, you married again. This time a 65-year-old real estate mogul, Mr. Frank Hamilton. And once again, just a few months later, he too was found dead.
That was a robbery, and I was in Prague at the time.
Right. Conveniently alibied in Europe. A seminar of some sort, am I right?
Postmodernist interpretation of body language.
Well, that must have been one long seminar, seeing as you didn't even make it back for old Frank's funeral.
I had my reasons.
You also had your lawyers. Didn't take them long to siphon the old guy's money into your European bank accounts, did it?
Look, I'm glad you've done your homework, Lenny, but this is all old information. So do you have a new lead?
Can't say I do, Miss Wells.
And this is what they call stalking. Now, what would your wife have to say about that?
My wife is fine with my work.
Is she fine with you being obsessed with another woman?
No, come on now. We're just a couple of friends. Having a chat.
Internet porn?
It's a side project.
Victor Tate? That's a pretty high-profile side project.
Yeah, well, the suspect came back into the picture.
Vivica Wells?
How do you know about her?
Well, you spent the better part of a year dogging her back when you were in homicide. I told you last year I read your file.
She disappeared, and now she's back.
Does that mean you've got a new lead?
What are you, my mom?
No, I just want to know if you can help me out with the Pat Viermanak case.
Yeah, what's the scoop?
Well, he's a member of a gang called Udom Jod. They gunned down a druggie outside a club about 4 years back.
Yeah, so?
So everybody knows he did it. There are 4 witnesses who saw it in plain sight, but the only one who'll come forward is this old lady who was walking her dog.
Uh-huh. Sounds like a slam dunk to me.
She died on Saturday.
Shame.
You know, it's a hit and run. It looks pretty fishy.
So what do you want me to do about it?
Well, I'm wondering if you can run these 3 witnesses, see if you can get one of them to spill. Harper, hello. Are you with me?
Look, I'm sorry. I can't help you right now.
Damn files.
What's with you?
I'm practicing my new technique. It seems that's all I'm good for these days.
Nico, you want to knock it off?
Well, answer me this. When did I become a file clerk?
What are you talking about?
Well, I've been back for 6 weeks and I haven't worked a single case.
Because we're easing you back in.
What, you don't think I'm capable of poking around a couple of witnesses?
I'm sorry, Nico. It's a very sensitive case.
I'm a new man. Yeah, all that yapping with the shrink, it's changed me.
All right. 2 of the witnesses were clubbers. One of them's a delivery guy. You take the kids, I'll take the job.
You got her.
And Nico, please remember, we have rules.
Shit, yeah. How could I forget Vivica Wells? Old mining bitch if I ever saw one.
So obviously you guys like her on the Frank Hamilton murder.
Not as much as you liked her on tape. She was in Europe at the time, so if it was some kind of a hit, it was a pretty damn good one.
Any suspects?
I'm afraid not. Hamilton was a bit of a strange one, liked to ride the bus even though he was loaded. It was done in less than a block from the Coot Loop, but it wouldn't be the first murder mugging in the neighborhood.
So the fact that Vivica Wells is returned to Canada means nothing to you?
Sounds to me like you're jonesing for the Hamilton file.
Well, you know, guilty as charged. Look, you know I like her on tape, all right? Give me Hamilton, I might be able to connect the dots.
All right, I'll talk to the boys. I, for one of them, might fill the whole damn thing. Should be able to get it to you come Monday.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
No problem. Hey, by the way, I've seen Vivica. No wonder you want the file.
So I understand you're into hip-hop.
Was, until the scene got played out.
But you were still into it on July 17th, 1998, when Raul Sud was gunned down at Insomniac. You were there, weren't you? You were no more than 20 feet away?
Man, I was pretty wasted. It was late.
I see from your first interview that you don't drink. Listen, I know you're afraid. Udom Jad is a very powerful gang, but Pat Virmanek is a murderer.
If you're trying to get me to crack, you've come to the wrong guy.
We can protect you.
I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told the blonde lady. I'm a dead end, my friend.
Len Harper, Vancouver, please.
It's okay, Fran. Let him in. Can I offer you a drink, Sergeant Harper?
I'm on duty, thanks. So you're getting married again?
You know what they say, third time's a charm.
If you get moving, Vivica, there's an appointment with the caterers.
This'll only take a minute.
So who's the lucky guy this time? CEO? Captain of industry? The sole heir to a family fortune?
His name is Richard Tugnut, but then that wouldn't be any of your business.
Have you thought about how you're gonna do it? Because I got a few suggestions. A hit and run, that's always pretty clean. A phony suicide's also not bad. Of course, if he's old enough, you can always try and Anna Nicole Smith and let God do the dirty work for you.
Would you excuse us for a minute?
It won't be so easy this time, hiring your boys to do him in. Not with me on your tail.
Well, I'm always up for a challenge. Can you imagine if I get away with it for a third time? Maybe this time I'll do it right under your nose.
I'm taking over the Hamilton file on Monday. I plan to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Every letter, every detail, every clue.
You watch where you tread. Disrupt my life and I'll hit you with a defamation suit so hard your head will spin right off your skinny little neck.
Take your best shot.
Go ahead and look, Sergeant Harper. They all do. You'd be surprised what a powerful tool that can be.
How far do you plan on taking this femme fatale sex appeal shtick?
As far as you're willing to take me.
Well, you're gonna have to work on that backhand. Ryan 7, please.
Well, that takes me back. My grandma used to drink those when she had the girls over for bridge. Used to call her Sunday pick-me-up.
Well, it does the trick, that's for sure. Richard Tugnut.
How you doing?
You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah. Got to get in shape now that the wife's left me.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it's for the best, really. It'll teach me to be more careful in the future. Yeah, you think you know someone, huh?
The wife wasn't all she's cracked up to be?
Well, less than a year in, she starts cheating on me. It gets worse. I found out she was married before. Never bothered to tell me.
You married?
About to be. Next week, in fact.
Congratulations. Is it her first marriage?
Yes, it is. No baggage that way.
Well, my wife said the same thing. Turned out she was lying. Might want to look into it.
Not my Vivica. No way.
You really should check up on her. Trust me on this one. It's been a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Tugnut. Look, honey, I'm sorry, but this case is killing me. Yeah, it's a couple kids gone down on the east side, so you should probably go ahead and eat dinner without me. I know I haven't been myself lately. I'm sorry, but when this is over, I'll make it up to you, okay? I promise. Okay, I love you.
Hello, officer. Take a ride with me?
What do you want?
To apologize. I should have told you honestly why I'm here.
What is this? What are we doing here?
I don't want you dogging me for the rest of my life, so I'm trying the truth.
I don't believe you're capable of the truth. You never have been, you never will be.
I didn't do it.
Then why not just call me? What are you doing in this car?
Maybe I like to play games. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm the kind of girl who can't say no.
Stop it.
Did it ever occur to you that I could be innocent? And that you're just as much a part of this game as I am?
I have a wife.
Which makes it all the more exciting, doesn't it? Can you keep a secret? On August 12th, when Frank was murdered, I said I was at a seminar in Prague. The Prague part is true. I have the paperwork to prove it. But I walked out of the seminar.
So where were you?
I was in a hotel with another man, having the most mind-melting sex I have ever experienced. That's why I didn't come back to Canada for Frank's funeral. I was ashamed. Because this is who I am. I like backwards, twisted sex. With all the wrong men in all the wrong places. Like right here. Right now. In this car. With you. No one can be the perfect, loyal husband. You're just like me. Admit it. Give in.
I can't. Hey, babe.
Oh, Jesus. You scared me.
The door's locked. It's just you and me.
What's gotten into you?
Do you remember when we first met? That weekend on the Sunshine Coast?
Yeah.
Feel like going for a beer?
No, thanks.
How's the wife? Wanda.
She's fine.
And the kids, they're good too?
Also fine.
You should go home, Harper.
Allie? Don't worry about me, okay? I just need a little more time.
See you tomorrow.
How long have you lived next to the former Tate residence?
Over 25 years.
So you knew Victor fairly well.
I did.
What did you think of Vivica? You weren't a fan?
Oh, you know how those women are.
Those women?
She was young, he was rich. You do the math.
So I take it the other neighbors didn't think too highly of her either.
Well, let's just say she wasn't one of us, and she never would be.
Did they fight?
Never. Becca would rather bury her nose in a book than ever talk to her own husband.
Was there ever any strange workers around the house? Maintenance men, delivery guys, that sort of thing?
Not really. Victor was always very careful about letting any strangers into the house.
How about relationships? Did Vivica have any suitors?
Well, if she did, she was smart enough to hide it.
I want you to think hard, Mrs. Pierce. Was there anyone that she was close to, even on a platonic basis?
Well, there was one man she used to talk to quite often, one of the gardeners, I believe.
Any idea what they talked about?
Probably books, knowing Vivica. She always thought she was quite clever.
Do you remember this man's name?
No.
How about the name of the gardening company?
Sykes. We all use Sykes Landscaping.
We may cost a bit more, but Doug and I are well worth it.
So most of your clients are wealthy.
I guess word gets around. But how do you think we landed a big client like Victor Tate?
Did you know that he was murdered?
Please, who didn't?
Were you working on his place at the time?
Doug and I would pop in once a week, maybe. I never saw anything fishy, if that's what you're asking.
So it's just the two of you?
No. Actually, there was one other guy helping out at that time. Strange guy. Leaford. Ed Leaford.
How long was he with you?
4 weeks, maybe 5.
Good worker?
He was, when he wasn't chatting up Victor's wife.
So what happened to him?
That's a good question, because one day he just stopped showing up.
Did you ever find out why?
Nope. Not even a phone call. Hell, he never even bothered to come by and pick up his paycheck.
Do you remember where he was from?
No idea. He mostly kept to himself.
Do you have any photos by chance?
No. But I can tell you this much. He was about my age, 34. He was in his late 40s. He had longish hair, a bit of a tummy, and that's really all I can remember.
Do you know when he quit?
Funnily enough, I do, because it was Doug and I's very first anniversary. And he just bolted on us. I thought that was quite rude. I mean, how inconsiderate did you have to be?
You know, I'm sorry, I just need the date.
That was May 6th. Oh, shit. That's day Victor Tate was murdered.
Thank you. Well, is there anything that sounds similar? Layford, maybe. Lipford? No, that's no good. Try the rest of Canada. That's right, his name is Ed Leaford. Try it again. So what are you saying, this guy doesn't exist? Okay.
They said I'd find you here. I know who you are. Vivica told me. She told me all about you.
I think that under the circumstances, we shouldn't be talking.
Then I'll do all the talking. You see, I know Vivica. I know all about her. Her husband, her history, her life. There was no evidence, no case. She's as innocent as the day she was born, so you leave us the hell alone.
Just doing my job.
You sure about that?
She told me you're obsessed.
We have a whole life ahead of us. So I'd like to get it started as soon as possible, so I'm pushing up the wedding date to this Friday.
How do you know that you can trust her?
It's called love, buddy. Perhaps you should find out what that means.
Yeah, that's some technique. Joke, listen, Nico, I'm sorry about earlier.
That's all right. I like paperwork. Paperwork is good.
You are a detective, and a damn good one at that.
Hey, Allie, I'm a big boy. I don't need a pat on the head.
Our third witness is a guy named Philip Dickey. He was delivering donuts when Rahul was gunned down. He's our key to this case.
Our key?
Yeah, I've got a full plate. I'd like you to handle him.
was at the 7-Eleven at the time, delivering donuts. Couldn't have been more than 200 meters away from Insomniac.
That's when you heard the gunshot?
I thought it was a firecracker. But when I saw bodies running, I knew it was something else.
Do you recognize any of these men?
It's hard to say. It was pretty dark.
One of those fine fellas is Patvir Manik. Manik runs with a gang called Udum Jad. The Ujos have been linked to at least 6 deaths in the East End.
I don't know anything about that.
Everyone at Insomniac that night knew he did it. But no one is willing to testify. If you remember anything, it would sure help us out.
He had short, spiky hair. I think. Like I said, it was dark.
Take your time.
I'm sorry, Detective.
Are you gonna let me know what I've done wrong, or am I supposed to guess?
I got a call from your wife this afternoon. She says she was worried.
Jesus. Oh, Wanda. I told her I was fine.
She's not the only one who's pissed. How's that case of yours going, man?
Just doing some follow-up, and the Tate file looks to be a possible link to another case I'm looking at.
Frank Hamilton, I know. It's going cold on Monday.
There's nothing to worry about here, Andy. I'm doing this mostly on my own time.
You spent 6 hours today on my dime trailing a suspect who's been cleared of all charges.
How do you know about that?
I got a call from Chief Perkins. Seems he heard from a certain Vivica Wells. What the hell were you thinking, Len?
She's planning a hit on her fiancé.
It's a fishing trip. She's planning a fishing trip for her fiancé and a few of his buddies in lieu of a stag. You're not thinking straight on this one.
I'm telling you, Andy, I'm fine.
And I'm telling you that as of now, McCormick's on the case.
Listen, Harper, Andy's right.
He is not right.
Yes, he is. You're going the wrong way on this one.
How would you know?
Because I took the liberty of doing a little poking around, and it seems Richard Tugnut's not all he's cracked up to be. Not only does he not have any money, he doesn't even have a job.
No, that's not possible.
He's worked a string of different jobs all his life. Teaching, government work, whatever he could find. He's never been anywhere close to being a millionaire.
No, I don't buy that. That health club I found him in wasn't cheap.
Vivica probably got him in, you know? Maybe he was a guest. Judging by his bank account, he didn't get in there on his own.
No, look, there has to be a reason. She wants him for something.
Maybe they have great sex. Maybe he's a wizard in the kitchen. All I know for sure is that Richard is flat broke.
Alec, I talked to Phil Dickey. He's a dead end.
So I guess that's it then.
Oh, he didn't see Manik properly. And he sounds on the level.
All right then, I'll take it from here.
What do you mean, take it from here?
Well, he's our last hope. If you're gonna give up, then I guess the ball's in my court.
What is this, some kind of reverse psychology thing?
No, not at all.
Well, you don't think I can handle this?
You tell me.
Whiskey?
I don't think so.
What's the matter? Wife won't let you?
Make it a double. So tomorrow's the big day.
That's right. And you've come for one last peek, is that it?
Nope.
Then what do you want, Harper?
To apologize. Or to admit defeat, take your pick.
That's it?
I'm afraid so. You see, you've won. I've been taken off the case.
What a shame.
You see, I know about your husband. I know he's flat broke, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is true love.
I'm glad to see you've finally come around.
Can I ask you something?
Be my guest.
Where did the two of you first meet? When did this magic first start?
We met in Europe.
Whereabouts?
Paris.
Paris. Right. City of lovers. Did your eyes meet while walking the Champs-Élysées, or was it over a bottle of red and some pommes frites? I'm curious. You gotta tell me.
It was a restaurant. We met in a restaurant.
What do you see in him?
It's hard to put love into words.
Well, give it your best shot, because the other two guys I can understand. You know, they're sophisticated and powerful, loaded. But this guy, I just don't get it.
He's smart, funny, well-read. He's a guy I can just talk to.
And you love him.
That's what I said.
Or maybe you just want to believe that.
Maybe you're right. Isn't that what we all do? Build little castles to live in. Trick ourselves into believing in a happily ever after. The truth is, I don't much like who I am. So I'm building myself a new me. You understand that, don't you, Harper? Of course. I won't be that person until the wedding bells sound tomorrow. As of right now, I'm still a free woman. Last chance.
Well, 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 look at you. Last to leave, first to arrive. There's no employee of the month, you know. You okay? What happened?
I went to Vivica's hotel last night for closure.
Jesus, Harper. I thought you were off the case.
I was. I still am. But something made me go. So I kissed her. And just as things were getting hot and heavy, it suddenly hit me. This is all in my mind.
What is?
This whole case, there's nothing there. And I nearly lost my family over it.
Well, we all make mistakes, you know, Harper. It's just so glaringly obvious when you do because you're always so annoyingly right.
I have a wife, I have kids. What the hell was I thinking?
So you slipped a little. Come on, man. Nothing happened, right? So forget about it.
This stays between us.
Come on, give me a little credit.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were when you met Dan?
Mm-hmm. We were in the Embleton room.
I can tell you every detail about the first time I met Wanda. It was at my cousin's wedding. She was in the buffet line, making little strands with the olives, black one side, green the other. She wore a blue dress. Her hair smelled like peaches.
So what's your point?
So Vivica couldn't remember a damn thing about the first time she met her fiancé. Don't you find that strange?
Take the vacation, Harper. Go somewhere far, far away. I think that's what you need.
Mr. Sykes! Hey, watch out for the flats. Do you know this man? Yeah, that's Ed Leifert. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
I know she's guilty.
Oh, are you out of your mind?
Hear me out on this.
You know, if Polachuk sees you
Allie,
here, you
please. 2 minutes. Look, I talked to Josephine Pierce. She was a former neighbor of Victor Tate. She was never questioned during the initial investigation. She told me that Vivica had been friendly with one of the gardeners. They were always talking about books. I traced the gardener in question. Ed Leifert.
So? Ed Leifert Association, so what?
Take a look at this guy. That's Richard Tugnut. That's the man she's gonna marry. They've known each other since the beginning. They planned this the whole time.
All right, why come back to Canada? They would have been perfectly happy in Europe.
Unless they had some loose ends to tie up.
Wait a minute. When Richard Tugnut bumped into you, what exactly did he say?
Nothing, that he was pushing up the date of the wedding.
And that was right after you told Vivica that you were taking over the Hamilton file?
Yeah.
Harper, don't you see? They planned the perfect crime, and then you scared them. All this time, they've been covering their tracks so that they were the only witnesses. The Canada Evidence Act states that a husband and wife
never have to testify against one another in court.
Which means that if you don't stop them soon, your case is down the toilet.
We got 20 minutes.
I already told you I couldn't see properly.
I realize that, sir. But if you could take one more look. Anything coming to you?
Like I told you before, all I could see was the hair. Short, spiky.
Well, let's not forget that a little gel could do just that.
I suppose this could be the one.
First inklings are usually correct.
The thing is, it was night. I was 200 meters away. It's not possible.
You ever fish, Mr. Dickey?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You ever do any early morning fishing?
I used to have a place up Burns Lake. The big ones bite before dawn.
It's a beautiful time, isn't it? It's still dark out, but you can hear the birds chirping. It's funny, though, the way your eyes play a trick on you. It's getting lighter and lighter, but your head still thinks it's night. I remember fighting a big bull trout one morning. I'm convinced it happened under the stars. And yet I could see them jumping half a click away.
The shooting happened at night.
It was 4:55 in the morning, early July. Dawn was around the corner.
You know what? This may well be the fellow after all.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. That's the man who pulled the trigger.
You didn't think we'd skip off to Hawaii without me saying goodbye to you now, did you?
Ed Leifert.
You disappoint me, Sergeant Harper. Didn't you ever read Oliver Twist?
Never been much of a Dickens man.
He's the evil half-brother who plots to inherit all of his father's property. Guess I've always had a thing for the bad guys.
Can I get you a glass of scotch? Smoking gun? Anything else that might add to the cliche that you are?
You read much as a kid, Harper?
Not really.
Probably a good thing. The other kids used to tease us. Call us geeks. That's why we started the Ed Leeford Association. Our own little homage to the bad guys we all wanted to be.
And that's where you hatched your little scheme.
Richard and I used to talk for hours. That's how we fell in love.
This isn't over. This file has moved to the front of the line.
Now who's the cliche, Sergeant Harper?
The difference is this time I have allies. We busted the premier last year. We can sure as hell bust you. You won't get away with this.
Get away with what? But if, for the record, I did do this thing you speak of, then yes, in fact, I will. Because until you step out of that cardboard cutout of a man that you pretend to be, until you admit that you're as weak to temptation as I am, how the hell will you ever know what makes a girl like me tick?
Pat Firmanak's out of our hair, and it's all thanks to you. What's wrong, Nico?
Witness didn't see him.
It's an open and shut case. Manak killed her whole sudden. He should be punished.
Funny. I get suspended for breaking the rules. I come back, I do it again, and I'm a hero?
There's a big difference between throwing a man out a window and poking around a witness a little.
Is there?
Like, we all bend the rules every now and then.
Everybody's got a skeleton in their closet. Some of us just have better locks.
That case is over. I'm back.
I'm just glad you're home, Len.
Yes, so am I.
No one can be the perfect, loyal husband. You're just like me. Admit it.